Pay close attention. This isn't something you see every day.
Alright, welcome back to another video, and today I want to talk about the Masters of the Universe new Eternia Whiplash. Now look, this guy is pretty cool, and so which therefore I had to pick him up, add him to the collection. I really didn't have the Whiplash, the original one when I was a kid, but I had friends that did, and their tail always ripped. But with this guy here, they did something a little different. So let's get into taking a look at this guy. Let's talk about him. All right, so here we have Whiplash. And yeah, they did a great job with that face sculpt. I like the fact that they kept the three little teeth that he has in his mouth. They gave him his, his helmet, his chest guard here. And then, you have his belt with, the loincloth here. Moving down to the body, you have all the scales and bumps and everything that this lizard man would have. Now, this guy's a Caligar, and him being a Caligar, he is not liked by his own people. So they do not like Whiplash whatsoever, because he is a traitor to his own people. Now, moving on, scales down the legs, down to his boots. He has his furry boots. Now, the funny thing about this guy is, instead of him having the reptile feet, like Skeletor or Stinkor, he actually has like bird feet, which is actually pretty interesting considering that he is a reptile. So I think it's pretty cool that they actually changed that and made it like that. He has a little back claw here, and then you have the claws in the front. Pretty neat. And the other thing is that they made him just like the vintage Whiplash or Master of the Universe figures, okay, to where he is in this squatting stance or wrestler stance, whatever you guys want to call it, sumo stance. That's how they, that's how they made him. So, which therefore now we look at the back here, and I like the fact that the way they did the tail on how it goes to his back. And we have the straps to his actual armor, and it's actually notched out right here for the scales. And then you have a peg hole here where the tail plugs in, which I will go over that when I go over his accessories. But just really quick, it's standard articulation when it comes to this line, when it comes to the Masterverse line or the new Eternia line. So his head can move up and down, and it can turn side to side. His arms, they can move out to do a T-pose if you wanted to. He has his double jointed elbows, wrist swivel, up and down, waist swivel, and he does have a great ab crunch. That is one thing I can honestly say, that he has a great ab crunch when it comes to him, or torso crunch I should say. Very nice, very, very nice, and that's, because of his tail. So he has a waist swivel, and his leg articulation, he can move his legs up this far. His knees do not straighten out. This is the angle that they are made, and this is how he stays. But he has double jointed knees, and they move very easily, so you can get a nice knee kick if you wanted to out of him. I mean, you're not going to really get him to stand too well because of the fact that this is on that angle. But you have a swivel down here at the boot, and then of course his ankle articulation, forward, back, and then his rocker, which is very nice. Now with this guy here, and I know I stopped doing the articulation bit, but with this guy here, I had to show off on how he actually works, because of the fact that he's stuck in that squatting position, that that kind of wrestler stance that he has going on. But otherwise, I think they did a great job when it comes to the articulation of Whiplash. I just think that it's all nostalgic when it comes to the fact of how Whiplash is actually able to stay in this squatted form. I just would have liked his knees to have been able to straighten. That's just my opinion. And hey, man, I'm saying I'm liking it. I just don't know how well I'm digging it, if you catch my drift when it comes to the fact of those knees being constantly bent. It's not going to make or break my decision on having him in my collection. Absolutely, absolutely not. Now that I rambled on enough about Whiplash himself, let's take a look at the accessories that he comes with. And yes, I will remove the helmet, the armor, and show him stripped down. But let's get into taking a look at these accessories, and then we will end this review. Starting off, we have his orange spear. Now, why is the spear all orange? I have no clue. Maybe that's Whiplash's favorite color. I have no idea why Mattel would just make this all one giant orange plastic looking spear. I mean, at least color the tip, do something, but hey, it is what it is. Like I said, it's not going to make or break. I just don't really care for this weapon. Next, we have Whiplash's axe. Now, this is reminiscent of Ram Man, somewhat. Not complete, but somewhat. But I do like this axe. It's a big boy. And I can see Whiplash swinging this at He-Man or one of the Masters absolutely in a battle. It makes him most dangerous. And I do, you know, the spear looks good, but I just wish it was not so bright orange. But anyway, I do like this axe. It's great. It's all in gray. And yeah, I mean, you know, I could touch it up. I could do whatever I want with it. It's my figure. But yet, I do like this axe, and it is menacing looking. Next, we have Whiplash's torch. And this is a cool addition to this figure. I like the way that they did the wraps on the bottom part of the torch here. And then you have the emptiness of the actual torch where there's nothing in there. And then the studs on the side, and then the actual fire that just goes and slides right onto the top, so you have the torch. I like that. That is cool. I will display him with this and probably the axe, and you know that spear is going to be gone. Next, we have Whiplash's fists. So he comes with 2 sets of fists, and he comes with 2 sets of gripping hands. And last but not least, we have Whiplash's tail. And it's cool. It's empty on the bottom, just like the reminiscence of the original. Here's the peg that plugs into his back, and the cool thing is they made it to where it's bendy, so you can actually move it. It's very stiff, but you can still move it, and that is cool. He does not have that whipping action like the original had with the waist where you would turn it. You know, all of them had that action where you would turn them and they would punch and whatever, but Whiplash was cool because, you know, he could whip with the tail. And I think that's what a lot of times the way it was made, where it attached to the back, it had that thin rubberiness on it, and it just ripped right there, you know, where it attaches to his back. All right, so now that I popped the tail onto Whiplash himself, let's get into taking a look on how he looks without his armor. Now, this armor that's on him, if I'm not mistaken, is the armor that he had on in the Revelations when that show first started. They show Whiplash and he had on this type of armor. If I'm mistaken, I don't remember him ever having this armor in the original cartoon, and I don't remember in the 2000 version of the Masters of the Universe, the Mike Young production. I don't remember him having armor on. But if I've made a mistake, leave it in the comments down below. But his helmet comes off just like that, revealing. And yes, I consider this an accessory, and it's cool. It's nice. Maybe this is his Caligar armor. I don't know. But still, it's pretty cool to add to the figure. And now you have his bear-looking head, and he is definitely looking more and more nostalgic the more I take the armor off. Now these here are, you're just going to clip these off. Now I'm going to try and attempt to do this on camera because sometimes these are a pain in the butt to get off. And this is what I was talking about on the original before I go ahead and take this off. This piece right here, this is where it would always rip because it was loose just like this. So when you'd whip the body, this would whip, but it would always rip right here. And I know my friends that had this guy, he always, that's where he would always rip. All my friends that had this guy, that's where he always ripped. Like I said, I never had him, so. Oh my Lord, this is giving me a hard time. Give me a second. I'm gonna have to do this off camera because this is definitely not wanting to come off. Oh wait, there it goes. Phew, man, what a hassle. I guess, you know, look, it's a good thing that it's on there, right? I'm not gonna complain about that because that's what we do, right? As collectors, we complain about the simple little things, and then now the little things that actually work, we're gonna complain about that. It's just giving me a hard time trying to get this off here. There we go. Should just push down. All right, now you're gonna have to remove the head to get this up and over. So you're just gonna have to pop his head off, which is easy to do, which is actually pretty good with these Masters of the Universe figures. And it actually gives him more head articulation, taking that armor off. I'm gonna do the belt here in a second, so just give me a moment. All right, I just want to show this off, which you guys already seen, but it's cool. It's cool. It just says, I'm an evil warrior, I'm ready for battle, but it's cool. Protects his shoulders. And then his WWE or whatever type wrestling belt, that one came off very, very easily. And there you go. Very nice. Very cool. And now this is Whiplash to me with all that stuff on him. This is how I remember Whiplash as a kid. And I don't have one of those spinny things, so I'm going to spin them around kind of slow so you can see. But here is the fur and the belt and everything else. And yeah, very cool. Very, very cool. And I can see why they made him with those bent legs, because the tail definitely adds, and it's articulated, so it turns, which is cool. But that tail adds weight. Plus the way he stands. I had him standing without the tail on him before. And now he kind of, slouches back. But otherwise, really cool. I mean, look at that. Look at all this back here. That is really, 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 really cool. All right, guys. I'm going to get him situated, and then I will give you my final thoughts on this figure. All right, guys. So, my conclusion on this figure. Dressed down like this. Fabulous. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. It is definitely a nostalgic look on Whiplash, and I never had one as a kid. I have one now for my collection. Awesome. I think they've done a great job with him. The knees, all right. I mean, I understand why they made him that way. It's just my opinion. I'm not complaining. I'm just giving you my opinion. I think that it would have been cool, but then again, it's kind of nostalgic because it reminds me of back, when my friends had him and the way he looked. But he's cool, and he's great to add to your collection, to your line, if you like Whiplash, or even if you just want some kind of crazy looking creature to fight against your other characters that you have, or whatever the case is. This is one of those creatures to add. Reasonable, not highly expensive, definitely cool. I like the fact that they add the torch, they put that axe. Don't really care for the giant spear. The armor, I can do with or without. It doesn't matter to me. I'm kind of on the fence on that. But very cool. When I pose him and put him in my collection, he's going to look just like this. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this review of the Masters of the Universe New Eternia's Whiplash. Please guys, like, subscribe, share, leave a comment down below. And as always, hit that notification bell so you never miss out on anything new. And I'll catch you all on the flippity flip.